BMW esports and a wingsuit may not be words which you think would coexist, but on today's episode of Let's Shape the Future, we'll learn how they all actually fit very well together. I'm really excited to be joined by Stefan Ponikva, VP of Brand Experience and Communication at BMW. Stefan, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to chat with me today. Now, Stefan, you're fairly prominent in the media given your role, but you don't have a LinkedIn account, which made my research a little bit more difficult. So it'd be amazing to start with your professional journey up to the role you're in now. Where did your career begin and what has the progression looked like over time?
Okay, I definitely need to shortcut this, Ben. I kicked off as an intern with an internship at BMW for 6 months in 2005. And I said to myself, okay, wonderful BMW, but I need to get rid of the city and Munich because I'm coming from Vienna. It's my birth city. This is really a multicultural melting pot. And Munich is in a very safe environment, and the diversity is not the key word in Munich. But I got to know many people within this internship. And after 6 months, I got an internal job offer, for a real offer. And I said, okay, let's do it for a couple of years. And now 16 years later, 2021, December, I'm still here. And I'm super happy. And I come along with the city, but my heart is still in Vienna. Let's see. If I can move the headquarters of BMW to Vienna, then you know why.
Nice. Yeah, that might be a tough business case to put together.
That's true.
So that's the professional side of Stefan. Now I have a little section that I like to call what has shaped the guest. So we're talking about what has shaped the future, but I like to do a set of quick fire questions just so the audience can get to know the person behind the job title. Is that okay with you?
Fine.
Lovely. So first of all, we're talking about BMW and vehicles. So what is your dream vehicle? That could be past, present, or future.
Ooh. I go for the future.
Okay.
I'm always going for the future. There's a vision car in our legacy. It's the BMW M Vision Next. And this is my hottest ride I ever want to do in the future. And the future will showcase what's happening with this car. Until now, it's a vision. But we are famous for surprises. We are famous for dream cars. And let's see what the future brings. But if I have to say one car, then it's this vision car. We unveiled it as a vision, as a one-off in 2019 at our next gen, at our own experiential platform. And yeah, that's my dream car.
Nice. That sounds good. And so it's been the end of a long week. You sit down, relax with a drink and watch some TV. What drink is in your hand and what TV show are you watching?
Okay, the drink is easy. It's Red Bull.
Nice.
And I need to ask you now, sorry, Ben, do you know where Red Bull is coming from?
I want to say Salzburg. Is that right? Switzerland? Yeah.
Salzburg, nearby, so Austria. That's important.
Austria, yeah.
Austria, not Switzerland. And it's our national pride from Austria. It's a worldwide well-known brand, and also from a marketing point of view, a big love brand, where I'm also watching the colleagues. And yeah, that's definitely my drink, not just in the hot phase within the job, also in my relaxed phase, let's say it like this. So Friday evening with the Red Bull and movie, yeah, there is a let's say a surreal world and a real world. The surreal world is that I would love to see some movies like Dune now from the cinema, but the real world is Friday night. It's already a certain ritual with my kids. We are always watching Friday night with a pizza movie night, we call it.
Nice.
So Papa is ordering pizzas, and then we have a nice, what Disney is offering, a nice animation movie.
Nice. And I'm guessing you enjoyed the Formula One at the weekend then?
Definitely.
Definitely.
This was epic and iconic at the same time.
I'm a big Max Verstappen fan, so I was very happy. And then finally, who do you look up to as an innovator or a change maker?
I don't feel comfortable just with telling names and dropping names. I'm referring many times to certain brands.
Mm-hmm.
And the portfolio is, of course, a wide one. I would say from a media and content asset production, Red Bull is a benchmark. Talking about media house, talking about distribution, it's really the top of the pop. When it comes to storytelling and being an innovator, for example, with sustainability, where a lot of people were not even able to spell sustainability, Stella McCartney and her fashion brands towards sustainability and circularity is definitely something where I was always looking at, and I really have a big respect on her, how she was pushing this brand, and with a clear USP of sustainability, where now everybody's talking about, but she's already 10 years in the market with this clear USP. So two bookends now from my side, but there are far more. When it comes to from a storytelling, how you are entering a new world of gaming and esports, what Fortnite has been doing and still doing, for example, kicking off with Travis Scott in a virtual live concert, this is mind-blowing. Yeah. And of course, what now Balenciaga is doing in her own world of metaverse, and really pushing the borders and boundaries of real world and virtual world, and buying virtual goods. Balenciaga is currently state of the art.
Yeah, I remember also talking of the concert stuff. Justin Bieber did a concert in the metaverse the other day, and I was like, this is just like mind-blowing stuff. But I think it's a theme of this whole episode. You mentioned Stella McCartney there in terms of being that first person to take the leap and drive that change, and then people will look back and go, this is the person that is that change maker and is that inspiration. So moving on slightly to the world of vehicles and the future of vehicles. So if I asked you simply, what does the future of vehicles look like? What would be the first things that come to your mind?
Three things, three with the same level of importance. Firstly, clear way of, there is no discussion, the future is about fully electric. The electrification of our industry is key. I'm just mentioning with emphasis on the industry. It's not a question of BMW, it's the question to save our planet, to have a clear master plan for the entire industry. And I also, we can say it here officially, thanks to Elon Musk, thanks to Tesla, we are accelerating, all of us. Secondly, it's all about digitalization. We are using every day our mobile devices, and it's our, if you like it or not, we have a huge wedding with these pieces, and therefore the entire journey of the digital journey, and also the way of how we are consuming and behaving is extremely changing. Therefore, the car is becoming an IoT device. Yeah. So, and I like to say it this way, because if we do not manage as BMW to be part of your digital life in a day-to-day base, you're out of the game in the future. You're not existing anymore. And thirdly, besides the electrification of our engine portfolio, secondly, the digital journey of the car business. Third piece is not just about sustainability when it comes to the engine and changing the portfolio from combustion or diesel to electric. It's even more important, beside the electric engine, that we become a real circular economy. And this is for us, if I compare it now on a level with soccer, talking about what's the maximum and the best in the world of soccer, at least in Europe, it's the Champions League. So talking about sustainability, you have a lot of greenwashing messaging within our industry, but for us, it's a very serious topic. And we kicked off this year, mid of this year, 2021, with a clear strategy to move the entire company of BMW AG and the brand BMW and the brand Mini and also the brand Rolls-Royce, our 3 brands in our portfolio, towards a circular economy. What does this mean? We're not just looking on the engine side, we are also looking how we are producing our cars, how we are sourcing the materials for our cars, how we are using the cars, and afterwards how we are recycling the cars. And the final target picture is 100% of the car should be somehow go back into a value chain of a circular economy. How much of it goes back to a new car, so Benz new M4, and in the future Benz new M4 fully electric, could be even made out of 100% material from an old BMW. And the big thing is to position this story and to position the brand in the future, not via rational arguments of, yes, you have to be also sustainable. Yes, that's now the zeitgeist. Yes, otherwise you cannot survive in a society. No, it has to have a clear sex appeal, sorry to say, a clear emotional reason why that circular economy and a fully aesthetic and emotional product is received by the customer.
I couldn't ask for a better answer there. I think, and I think the key point there is some people think being an electric vehicle is the sustainability piece. It's just the tip of the iceberg, right? It's literally just the tip of the iceberg. It's the starting point, and it is absolutely the pivotal starting point. But as you say, it's all well and good the end consumer having the electric vehicle, but if the actual process of producing that electric vehicle isn't sustainable, then the car itself renders itself mute, right? So to your point there, this is so important for that circular economy to exist. And then sort of move, so BMW and other large German organizations are known for keywords such as efficiency, resilience, reliability, and have had great success doing so, but not necessarily innovation is the first thing that comes to mind. I was really surprised when researching BMW that investments and efforts were being put into esports, to gaming chairs, to an electrified wingsuit, as we mentioned earlier. Are BMW trying to now position themselves as like a combination of reliability that they've been so successful with and innovation? And then to that point, what are some of the sort of top innovation projects that the organization are working on at the moment?
I try to fly high in the answer firstly. Why? Because for me, it's important, and I'm responsible for the brand communication, brand experience for BMW, that we do not act as an advertiser. Firstly, we need to have a mindset shift towards a storyteller. And this is easy to say or put it on a PowerPoint, from advertising mindset to a storytelling mindset, but it's tough to execute. This is my day-to-day job to inspire my team and also my network of partners to really get rid of traditional advertising and to move forward and shape the brand as a storyteller. And this is a real game changer. And that's why you see some bits and bytes like an electrified wingsuit I've done. It was my submarine project, but now it went off, and we still use it in different occasions and platforms. And it's a huge PR stunt, and it's a huge success on the one hand. And on the other hand, like eSport you mentioned, it's Gen Z, Gen Alpha. We are not allowed to think anymore that an automotive company can somehow send messages to them and that they will be well received. So we need to have certain touch points for storytelling. And for example, esports, with our team approach, getting the best of the best teams of League of Legends into one rivalry team is for us a clear instrument to really get the brand involved and have an interaction with the brand in this community.
It's a good point. You mentioned best of the best there, right? And sort of Generation Alpha and upcoming generations. Do you think it's important for BMW's success to be viewed as an innovator so that the organization can attract the best minds and the best talents in the world and then continue to compete with the likes of Tesla, as you mentioned earlier?
Yeah. Clear yes, full stop. If we are not perceived as an innovator, we will die. A premium brand like BMW will not be able to survive if we are not state-of-the-art when it comes to the product. And firstly, the main reason is, of course, the design of the product. So this is always the reason why, number one. But the second already is about the innovation package. And there we need to really separate the reality of tech and innovations and the perception. And I do not want to say any names now or any brands, but believe me, we have a lot of statistics and data. It's a lot we can do with storytelling and how to build a brand. And even if you have a wonderful tech and innovation product, if you're not able to execute and to communicate this on a level which is not just describing a feature and having a description of why is it relevant and what's the added value for you customer or end consumer. No, you need to get this into a messaging, into a image communication, brand communication, which will be then well received that you are really an innovator and a forerunner.
So is that sort of part of, I don't want to keep mentioning Tesla, but obviously they are the sort of, when you think electric vehicle, a lot of people will think Tesla. That's the first thing that comes to their mind. Is that sort of storytelling piece and the knowledge and the sort of awareness of BMW's innovation part of your strategy to sort of widening the diversity of electric vehicles on the road and sort of pushing Tesla to be less of a dominant force in that market?
Tesla is truly an innovator, and Elon Musk in the story world, SpaceX, and you name it. This is, of course, a real innovator. And this is, of course, then having a very positive impact on the product Tesla. And the end consumer is not so much looking on the product substance. It's about the image and the entire storyline, which is fair. And again, we are grateful to have Tesla in the market because it's pushing all of us. And in the end, we need the transformation of the entire industry. It's not a game of certain players; it's the game of the entire team of this industry. But coming back to BMW, the storytelling of BMW needs to be on a good balance out of what the car is already offering today, so added value communication, and relevant advantages, and on the other hand, creating a story for the entire brand. And this is not just something what you do once or what you do for the entire global segmentation. There you have to have certain answers for certain target groups. So it's a different approach how I communicate the all new 7 Series, which we will bring next year, or if I introduce the all new M2. So the portfolio, of course, is a strong variety within BMW, and this means also we have which is good. We have a strong variety also on the target group side.
I think it reminds me of the whole approach that Apple have to marketing, right? It's the combination of the product itself, but also the story that goes alongside it and the positioning for the different tools. So as you say, some products, there may be ones that are better in terms of, if you look at the sort of statistics of a product, there may be one that's better, but people may go to a competitor because of the story, because of the brand, because of the awareness. And I think that's where, as you're talking, it's like the happy medium between both, right? You need to be an innovator, but then people need to be aware of your brand and aware of the sort of projects you're doing.
Correct. And Apple, for sure, we can mention it here, is also on the top level of how to position products and how to launch products from the very first moment in a very iconic way. without allowing to get any comparison within the industry. So they are immediately always a pinnacle.
Mm. No, it is amazing. And sorry to interrupt, guys, and I hope you're enjoying the conversation. As we reach the halfway point of the show, I'd just like to talk to you a little bit about the sponsors of today's episode of Let's Shape the Future, Beamery. Beamery's talent lifecycle management platform helps the world's largest organizations deliver more human experiences for talent and unlock the skills and potential of their global workforce. Whether you're struggling to compete for the best talent and looking to move the needle on your DE&I objectives, or simply leverage AI to drive more efficiency, then Beamery could be the best next step in driving your talent transformation journey. If you'd like to learn more, then visit beamery.com or reach out to me directly and I can put you in contact with the right people. Now, let's get back to the episode. Obviously, we've mentioned some of the great innovations that BMW are doing and some that a lot of people may not be aware of. And some companies may be hesitant to sort of take the leaps that BMW has done with the move into esports and those sorts of things and sort of truly embrace the change that we're seeing on a daily basis. Why have BMW adopted the mentality that they should lead the charge and not be afraid to embrace those new trends and change?
At the end of the day, my vision is to get to not compare how we market our products within our industry. My vision is to fly higher, to get rid of the industry standard of automotive marketing and not to play the game of the safe rules of advertising. Because there I can spend hell of money, great, but will it be really the difference towards our competitors? No. So pushing the limits, going beyond product communication, creating halo effects for the brands. And let's keep the example of esports. You mentioned the gaming chair. And I don't know if the audience or everybody knows it, but we did a very iconic piece, as we called it Rivalry Rig. It was a very sophisticated gaming chair, a one-off. Now everybody can say, okay, why is BMW doing this? Huh? So we kicked it off. We have our teams, they were communicating it, but of course there's a plan behind it. So we are now in the phase of completely analyzing the market, and we want to enter the market with a dedicated co-branding, co-created gaming chair based on our own vision, because we have a strong design competence. We have a strong technology competence when it comes to seating in the car. So now taking the best of our car business and taking the best of the gaming industry, so with whom we are partnering, question mark, and then creating a product and put it on the market. This is for me marketing also, not just about, of course it's about creating a business model and we want to earn money for it, but it's not the real reason.
No, it's a fascinating concept, and in theory it makes sense, right? You're taking the best of the best in what has been there for years and years with BMW, and the best of the best in esports, which is brand new, and combining them together, and it's like, right, you've got the best of both worlds. And that, I'm curious as to like the process that BMW go through in terms of how do these sorts of like ideas come about? Like, is it just someone comes to you with an idea? Is it yourself? Is it like workshops that you do internally? Like, how do you sort of think of the gaming chair and the wingsuit and stuff like that?
Yeah. So as I said, my job is to inspire also my team, and my partners and my network. And the people who are working with me know that there is no crazy idea. It can't be crazy enough. It can't be bold enough. And my currency to work with my people is, please don't be shy. Bring everything where you think this is now creating impact for the brands. And it's, even if it's completely crazy, let's talk. So people are not noticed and they're not shy, and they are discussing with me. And yes, of course, I also love to be creative, I admit. But my team also has to then get me sometimes to a slow-mo mood, back on the street. but this is a certain ping pong, which I not just allow, I clearly ask for it.
I think I love that mindset. Like I work in a sort of scale up organization, and we've got the exact same mentality, right? There's an allowance for mistakes, but also just let's bring everything, and there's no silly suggestions, right? And that's how you drive the best innovation, because it's something that no one would have thought of. That it's, as I say, look at the game jet. No one would have imagined that BMW would do that, but everyone's talking about it in the press, and it makes complete sense. And like we've mentioned esports a couple of times, but I noticed also that the BMW have chosen to remove themselves from the physical Formula E series after this season. Why have you chosen to move from the physical to the virtual world completely? Even like you mentioned earlier with the touch points of sort of Generation Alpha, with Rocket League putting the M240i as a car in there. Like, what's made the shift completely from the physical to the virtual world?
Yeah, I can't agree with the conclusion from your side. It's not within our entire portfolio of sports marketing and experiential marketing. It's in total not a or of physical or virtual or digital. It's an and, clearly a plus. And Formula E has had certain reasons that we had to have tough decisions, because marketing budget in total, and I'm observed by my controllers every day, of course, is not, unfortunately, not increasing. It's the opposite. So, and I have to double check every euro. And then we said, based on our target groups, we need to shift our program. And therefore, unfortunately, Formula E, we had to stop. And therefore, we transferred and shifted our portfolio into new areas. But it's not just that we go out of physical and go into virtual. That's not the case. So we have also, let's take our golf engagement. We are more than 40 years in the best of the best golf engagements in the States, in Europe, and in Asia. And we are continuing because it's such an on-spot sport for our target group. Is it a fantastic sport for storytelling or social media? Not at all. Is it a fantastic sport for the live audience? 120,000 watching Ryder Cup now, and they're all getting crazy live. And then, and of course, certainly also traditional TV stations. Yes, but this is a clear target group. On the other hand, there was no other choice, and I'm fully behind it. And it was super happy that it was my decision to enter into esports, and it's the future. And there we need to grow. So it's not an and, it's not an or, it's an and we have to have certain answers for certain target groups.
Yeah, I think it comes back to the touch points you said earlier, right? The touch points and the sort of vehicles that are marketed at a golf tournament may be completely different to the esports side of things, but it's important for BMW to have touch points with each of those target groups with the respective portfolio items so that you cover all bases, right?
Right.
And so on a personal level, it'd be interesting to know where does your passion for innovation come from, and how important do you think it is for someone like yourself to project that constantly curious mindset onto your team, onto upcoming talent and generations?
I'm a lion, and my inner belief is also do what you can't. So for me, rules, which obviously I'm in a big company. I'm a little guy of 120,000 people, and normally the rules are play safe and follow the rules, and we have many rules in our company, and do your job. But if I would do this, I could not shape the brand towards an iconization. That's the clear target. We want to step out of our industry. I want to shape the brand that is the most desirable brand within the premium segment. And And this is easy to say, but hard to deliver. And therefore, I need to challenge even our own system, I need to admit. And some people love me for this, and some people hate me for this. Mm-hmm. That's also the truth.
But it's an important thing to have, right? You can't be afraid to break the mold, otherwise change will never happen. And I think some of the audience will be listening and thinking to themselves, right, that sounds amazing. I would love to work in an organization that is embracing change and innovation like BMW. But they may be thinking, I'm not sure I have the right skills or to do that. What would you say are the top 3 skills of an innovator that you think will enable them to be successful?
Always learning. Mm-hmm. Don't accept the status quo. Mm-hmm. And learn, even if you think you're a specialist or expert of one industry or one branch or one certain business field, zoom out every week, get into the helicopter, fly above, and look into other industries. That's my main source, at least may say. I'm looking a lot into the fashion. Mm-hmm. On both, also on the one hand into the streetwear, but on the other hand also in really haute couture, etc. Because there, as a premium brand of BMW, I can really learn a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm day by day not reading our industry papers like automotive, car magazines, etc. Yes, they are everywhere on the tables in our mm-hmm. company, but I'm reading a lot of stuff from other industries, mm-hmm. and of course I have direct contacts to certain brands just to exchange from brand to brand what is currently in your head, what is currently basically your main challenge in your business, etc. And this is what brings me my energy and also my inspiration. And this is also something which I tell to my people, because it's very, very easy to enter into a tunnel that you are every day responsible for a certain, in my organization, for example, for a certain channel. You're doing every day the web journey on the mm-hmm. website. You're doing every day the content stuff on the app or whatever. Then you certainly you may become very, very one-dimensional. Mm. And this is the most dangerous thing we need to watch.
And on a sort of practical level, you say obviously you do a lot of reading, of research. Where's the best places for someone to actually go to find out this sort of stuff? Is it books? Is it news articles? Is it just the brand's websites? Like, where would you suggest people go to sort of do this type of research?
I would prefer. I'm preferring digital media. So if you look, for example, what's going on co-creation, the fashion world, etc. For example, two media platforms which I love. It's High Snobiety and Hype Beast. Mm-hmm. Both of them, you have every week a wonderful overview of what's going on around the globe. Mm-hmm. Just as an example. Mm-hmm. And these certain media platforms you need to observe. Mm-hmm. And for the industries, there are different ones, of course. But if you manage to have your top 4 to 5 media platforms and you have an overview every week on these media platforms, you know what's going on.
Mm. No, I love it. And I love the thought of not cocooning yourself into just your industry, but taking the best of the best from everywhere and drawing the inspiration you can, and then using that to then enhance the work that you do on a day-to-day basis. No, I love it. And so we're coming to the end of the episode now, but I love to get one sort of final piece of advice from the guest to anyone that's listening. So what would that be that could be to C-levels, to management, early talent, or anyone in between? What would your top piece of advice be?
Patience.
Okay.
Why? This as I'm the impatient person of the world. And for my own coaching and for my own career, I had to learn to be successful in a long run. You need to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
And I have many, many ideas and projects which can't be executed overnight,
mm-hmm.
or in 3 months or in 6 months or in 12 months. And I had to really learn that you need to be patient to work. And sometimes, and I'm also, I'm doing this in practice. Sometimes it's better you deep dive and you are a submarine, and then you are working on it, because you can't answer all the questions you would become. So it's better to work on it firstly under the ground,
mm-hmm.
and then until a certain step, and then you're showing off, and then you're discussing. And this is the way, like I did the electrified wingsuit. Everybody in the company was looking at me, what the hell are you smoking? Well, why are you doing a base jumper wingsuit and electrification out of it? Yeah. And now we are officially with a Guinness World Record in the book. So, and we had it several times in activation, a fantastic story. But it's many times, of course, not obvious. And I also didn't know if it will work. So I had a 2 years project to work on it with certain engineers and designers. And then we had a certain milestone where we said, okay, it will work. And then I discussed it officially. And the same applies to other projects. I don't tell you now, and we may have a discussion in 1 year time. But this was for me, and this is also my advice, be patient. And of course, with all the boldness which you need, of course, to shape the future, you need to be bold, you need to be creative. And one very, very, very important ingredient with this is patience.
I love that you said in order to shape the future, and I think that fits the podcast so well. Like I love the attitude, to me, it screams that both yourself, but BMW, organizations that innovators and people that think outside the box, like it's the place to be, and it's the sort of mindset that you need to really drive change. And to that point, to finish off and to kind of roll out the red carpet for you. If anyone wants to find out some more information about yourself or BMW or the innovation projects that you have going on, where's the best place for them to do so?
Insta.
Nice.
Because you know I'm not on LinkedIn because I just don't have the time. I don't want to hire one person just managing my LinkedIn. Yeah. I don't do this. So I'm on Insta. So contact me on Instagram, Stefan Ponikva. Easy.
Nice. Thanks. And Stefan, it's been an absolute joy chatting with you today. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. It's been amazing learning about your role and experiences and BMW as an organization and as an innovator, and just how they're at the forefront of that change. So thank you so much for your time today.
Ben, thank you so much. It was very, very, very nice conversation. Thanks. Really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
I loved it.